our Sanatana or Vedic Dharma, popularly called as Hindu Dharma, before we talk of the temples, I think we need to have some clarity about it. Popularly called as Hindu religion, and with the elections around, those who are not Hindus are talking about Hindu and Hindutva. So I would like to put the traditional view first and connection with the temple, and then we can discuss the problem. I will not like to use the word religion. Dharma is the right word. Sanatana Dharma is not something that somebody founded it at a given time. It is there since the beginning of creation, and it will be there till the end of creation. And the new cycle comes, it will come. That is why it is called Sanatana Dharma. We have avatars in Rama and Krishna, Manushya Avatara. They were not the one who started this dharma at a given time. They were born in this dharma and they lived according to our Sanatana Dharma. At the outset, I would like to make this particular point very clear. Popularly, there is misconception. Even our Supreme Court has said it is a way of life, which is not true. Hindu Dharma is vision of truth. And for that vision of the truth, it gives us very clear vision of life and way of life. Way of life itself is not Dharma. Way of life is a means for the vision of the truth. What is the truth? It can be something relative. A physicist tries to find the truth of the particles. Chemist may try to find the truth of some chemicals. Our Rishis and Vedas reveal the truth of everything. And the word everything is explained with a model of three categories. It's a model. One, I, the individual, the experiencer, the sentient being, in Shastric language called as Jeeva, and the world around and hereafter, seen or unseen, known or unknown, called Jagat, Aham, and Idam. This I and this world. And one thing is also evident, none of the I's have created this entire universe. The third is the creator, the Ishwara. And the vision of the truth is, Jeev, Jagat and Ishwara are expression of one reality called as Brahman. Very famous statement of the Upanishad, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Or Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma Nehana Anasti Kinchana Ityadi. There are so many vakyas available in Vedas and our Shastras. Even the very word Purusha, the very first ruchas of the Purusha Sukta also reveals. Purusha evedagum sarvam. Purusha is everything. And that reality being one and non-dual is non-separate from me. That reality being infinite cannot exclude me. I am one with the reality and the entire Jagat is also one with the reality. That is the vision. So we are not the tradition of faith, we are tradition of knowledge. When I go to certain conferences at international level, they address us as the leaders from the various faiths. We are not faith-based religion, we are knowledge tradition. And each teacher has a vision and has a capacity, if he or she knows the sampradaya of teaching, to communicate this vision what he has or he or she has to the student. Vedavyasji had that vision and he communicated to his shishyas. And it came down to Shankaracharyaji's and it came down to my teacher. And a famous example we have in Swami Vivekanandaji and Ramakrishna Paramahamsi, when Vivekanandaji questioned, have you seen God? And he said, not only I have seen, but I can make you see as well. That is not possible when it is faith-based religion. That is possible when it is knowledge tradition. Every competent teacher can say this if he or she knows the subject matter and if he or she has the capacity to communicate the subject matter and the student is ready, teacher can certainly communicate the vision. There is no nanya gatiratra vidyate. Yamaraja says to Nachiketa, there is no possibility that you can escape this vision. To gain this vision, our Vedas have given view of life that is called Chaturvid Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. And the way of life is Varanashram Dharma or Samanya Dharmas and Vishesha Dharmas. In English, the language itself has limitations. Every language has its own limitation. When the given society doesn't have the vision, doesn't have the concept, doesn't have the knowledge, they don't have a proper word for that particular thing which is there in other culture. Like even we, in all Indian languages, beginning from Punjabi, Haryanvi to Malayali and Gujarati to Bengali, none of our languages have a synonym for Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi. And mobile is mobile. We don't have a synonym because we didn't have the concept. The confusion is here where certain words of our language, Sanskrit language, were interpreted differently, not understanding the exact meaning of it. Somehow those who translated didn't study the language properly. Even in the constitution also there is some interpretations where it is just opposite to what our Shastras means or what we mean. Like the word dharma is not synonym for religion. Religion is faith. Our dharma shabda has primarily two meanings. Dharma means your kartavya, the duty, what you ought to do and what you ought not to do. You open Manusmriti or open Valmiki Ramayana or Mahabharata or any text, you will find chapters and chapters enumerating Brahmana Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma, Grahastha Dharma, Vanaprastha Dharma. Even now we use this word. Dharma is a way of life. That is why in marriage there is a word Sahadharmachari, Sahadharmacharini Bhava. Even Janak Raja tells about Janki that word. Even in our vernacular languages we use this word. Swamiji, ye meri dharma patni hai. And another meaning of dharma is the truth. Nahi anuresha suvigneya dharma, Yamaraja tells to Nachiketas. But they interpret it as religion. They don't have word for punya. There is a word for sin, papam, there is a sin. Because you are born sinner. I don't know how they say. And we say you are Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta from birth. They say you are a sinner. And there is no word for punya. Swami Dayananji used to say, no, they have an English word for punya. What is the word? Punya. Okay. What is the word for yoga? Yoga. So they have not understood our religion. Hindu way of life, since it is entire creation is manifestation of Ishwara, for us, for a Hindu, everything is sacred. The world is not meant for man's consumption. हमारे लिए जगत भोग्य नहीं है, हमारे लिए जगत पूज्य है. Unless and until you discover this vision, there are the attitudes given by our culture that everything is Ishwara, and for that we have temples to inculcate this attitude that nothing belongs to me. Very aptly enumerated in this bhajan, Jai Jagadish Hare, Sab kuch hai tera Swami kya lage mein. This vision is so permeating in this culture. Whether you see this, our Tulsi Ramayana, Tulsi Das ji would say, Siya Rama mein jagajani karahu pranam joripat. And you look at all the vernacular poets, who religious poems, religious bhajans, they all say the same thing, that creation is nothing but manifestation of one divine. In our perception, everything is divine. To develop the attitude of divinity, even building a house is a divine thing. Therefore, we have Vastu Pujanam. And therefore, for us, Lakshmi ji also is divine. We don't say God created man in his own image and the world for the man's consumption. We strongly believe we share the same biological space as any other creature. And we have to have this attitude of divinity. And therefore, in our culture, whatever belongs to me is not mine. Ultimately, it is Ishwara. And to develop this attitude, we always offer everything to Ishwara. That is why there is a concept of hundi in our religious places, which is not there in any other religion. It is so imbibed in Hindus, even if you go to US, where the temples are there, religious places are there, there are parking lots. In any public place, the first parking lots are for physically handicapped people. But you will find in temples in New Jersey and California and other areas where Hindu population, Hindu diaspora is more, there is a slot for puja, car puja parking slot. Even when we buy a car, we offer it to Ishwara. When a baby is born, we offer it to Ishwara. And that was the attitude of our kings, aptly reflected in Ramayana story. That's good old story of Bharata, taking the Paduka of Sri Rama and putting on the throne and ruling the kingdom. It implies this, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Oh Bhagavan, kingdom belongs to you. You are the owner, I am just the manager. That is why even today, Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri, king himself will broom the road. I am the servant of Ishwara. Nothing belongs to me. What Bhagavan says in Karma Yoga and in Bhagavad Gita all along. Tat Kuru Madarpanam. Ruling also was an offering to Ishwara. King never looked upon kingdom as my own. And whatever kings had, that was kept for the Lord because he is the master. King had elephants. Therefore, all our South India temples have elephants for Bhagavan. King had a chariot. Bhagavan had a golden chariot. King had a cook. Bhagavan has a cook. There are temple cooks. There are temple Vajitra. There are Veda party, etc. And that's how our temples are extremely rich. Every Hindu felt that we have to offer it to Bhagavan because it belongs to Bhagavan.